What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here, and you're not going to believe what Russia is doing now. I'll show you it here in this video. Let's jump right in. Yeah, so I'll show you this one here in a moment. Russian state TV lays out plans for their new empire. I'll show you exactly what they're saying on their own Russian state TV station. That one we'll get to here in a moment. This one is absolutely stunning to me. Russia to begin drafting soldiers from occupied regions of Ukraine. I'll read this to you, and then this is absolutely just unbelievable to me what Vladimir Putin is doing here. Russia's defense ministry announced that its upcoming conscription campaign, meaning their draft, will for the first time include eligible men from 4 occupied regions in Ukraine. The Russian draft, beginning October 1st, which has now already started, and running through the end of the year, seeks to call 130,000 new soldiers to service, according to the Russian state media outlet TASS. Russian men aged 18 to 27, or in this case, Ukrainian men that Russia is now saying are Russian, but really are, on Ukrainian land. Russia's just saying, oh, now you're Russian, are required to enlist for a year of mandatory military service. They've actually now increased it to age 30, 18 to 30. The fall draft will, for the first time, now include residents of the occupied territory in Ukraine in the 4 occupied territories, some of which Russia doesn't even control all of. The Kyiv Independent reported. Putin announced that the annexation of the 4 regions last September, after holding elections regarded by Ukraine and its Western allies as shams, and the United Nations voted on this. As you can see here, the United Nations, basically the entire world, voted on this. And 143 countries voted in favor, and only 5 countries voted with Russia. The 5 countries that voted with Russia were Russia, Syria, Belarus, North Korea, and Nicaragua. So basically, the only countries to vote with Russia were Belarus, which is basically Russia's control country, North Korea, Syria, and Nicaragua. Not even China voted with Russia and said that this country was legitimate. 143 other countries all voted and said, no, this vote was not a legitimate vote. Just so we're all being clear here, the entire world, 98% said, no, Russia, this was not a legitimate election. Because Russia went door to door with armed Russian troops and basically forced Ukrainians in these territories to vote by an armed guard, a Russian military man, and then went back and took the votes back to Russia and counted the votes themselves, and then just told the world what the results were. The United Nations, which is basically the whole world, didn't get to see the votes. Nobody else got to see the votes. Only Russia did. And imagine if you were standing there and 2 armed Russian soldiers were like, how are you going to vote? Are you voting for Putin? Are you voting for Russia? With a rifle in your mouth. Yeah. So of course these elections weren't legitimate. And of course only Russia and Belarus and North Korea would only vote for this. And the whole world knows it. I mean, come on. And this is why when people say, oh, Russia's just defending their country, this is why the world, when the world goes to vote, is Russia right or is Russia wrong? 98% of the world votes no. Russia's not right. This is why the world isn't supporting Russia. If you ever want to know if Russia's right or Russia's wrong, just go and look at how the world votes. Does the world vote with Russia? No. There you go. So now Russia, in these portions of these territories that they're going to control in Ukraine, is going to now go door to door and take these Ukrainian men from Ukrainian territory and force them to go to war against their own Ukrainian men. Think about this. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to put them on the front lines. They're literally going to murder these people. They're going to literally put them on the front lines and kill them. I mean, if we can't see this is genocide, they're going to go door to door and take all the Ukrainian men that are left that they can find that are between ages 18 and 30, and they're going to force them to go into the Russian army. And if they refuse, imagine what's going to happen here. Just think about it. You guys can let me know in the comments. If they refuse, you guys know what's going to happen. And they're going to put them into the Russian army, and they're going to put them on the front lines. And they're going to say, you now have to go and fight against your own countrymen of Ukraine. And you don't have a choice. We're drafting you. You're now forced to go and fight against your own people of Ukraine that you were just literally a part of Ukraine yesterday. Now we're telling you you're no longer part of Ukraine. We're going to tell you you're now a part of Russia, and you have to now go fight against your neighbors, and we're putting you on the front lines. Good luck. Yeah. And this comes after he's literally bombed hospitals, maternity wards, apartment buildings. I mean, if this isn't the worst thing of humanity, if this isn't the worst things you've read in the Bible, you please let me know what is. This is sad. This is the worst of the worst. This also comes here as Russian state TV lays out plans for their new empire. So listen here to what Russian state TV is saying, because they're telling us what they're going to do next. Take a listen here.
Знаете, что речь идет о воссоздании русского государства, речь идет о воссоздании Российской империи. Вот про что праздник 30 сентября. Страшный праздник. Не для нас. Для нас светлый праздник. Долгожданный. Выстраданный. За 30 с лишним лет выстраданный. 30 лет.
So what they're saying there on Russian state TV, telling this to millions of Russians, and remember Russian state TV is government controlled, so this is all approved ahead of time or edited out if they say something they don't like, is that they want to put back the old USSR, the old Soviet Union. And really, this is, a lot of people know this. This is what Vladimir Putin wants to do. This is what the plan is. And if you take a look here, this is what they're doing. It's clear as day. Take a look here. Prior to their independence, the old Soviet Union, the old USSR, existed as union republics, top-level constituents of the Soviet Union. There are 15 post-Soviet Union states in total. So the old Soviet Union existed. Now the countries are Armenia, Azerbaijan, Belarus, Estonia, Georgia, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Latvia, Lithuania, Moldova, Russia, Kyrgyzstan, Turkmenistan, Ukraine, and Uzbekistan. Okay, now look here. Russia has already leaked plans at least twice that they want to take over Moldova by accident. Military plans that they want to take over Moldova. They're already in plans to incorporate Belarus into Russia. Okay, we know this. Okay, these are two other countries they already want to take over. They've already taken over Crimea back in 2012, a portion of Ukraine, and now they're in a war to take over Ukraine. It was a bit more than they probably bit off a little bit more than they could chew, because the rest of the world stepped in and said, no, we're not going to allow you to just take over another country that you shouldn't be doing. You can't just keep taking over countries by force, by war. Okay, that's not exactly how the world works. You can't just jump in and say, hey, we're going to take over this country, because if you look here, that's what they're trying to do. Okay, but if you listen to what they're saying this on national TV. They want to take over all these countries, guys. Of course, Russia's them. That's already them. Belarus is basically their kind of lapdog. They're willing to go along with the plan unless something goes wrong in the future. Belarus is basically willing to, become their ally and kind of maybe, do it as willingly, right? But they want to put all these countries into Russia, whether willingly or by force or whatever they need to do. Okay, Ukraine wasn't willing, so they decided, hey, let's just go and invade them, just like they did with Crimea. So if you think about this, this is why they've leaked over plans to take over Moldova by accident, of course, because whoops, we did that by accident. But look at all these other countries that they would take over or do whatever they need to do, the Russian way. These countries are next, guys. They're literally telling it to us on Russian TV, or they're telling it to Russians. They're preparing them for what they're going to do next. And this is why this is the writing on the wall. This is what This is what Hitler did in World War II. He took over country after country after country, even after treaties, even after treaty agreements. And this is why, if you just kind of listen to what they're actually saying, listen to what Russians are actually saying on Russian state TV, they want to put together the old USSR, the old Soviet Union. So even if there is a peace agreement in Ukraine, even if you go back and look at the leaking of the Moldova battle plans to take over Moldova has actually said that they're worried for their own safety that Russia's going to try to take them over. Okay, Moldova has actually said that. Okay, you can now see that even if there is a peace agreement to stop the war in Ukraine, how long would that actually last for? How long until they go and try to take over either the rest of Ukraine, which may or may not happen, but then how long until they try to take over the next country? And again, this is exactly what we've seen with Hitler in World War II. He took over country after country after country because for whatever reason, he thought it was his. He thought he could get away with it. He thought that other countries wouldn't stand up to him. And again, you have to look into the mind of either Hitler or Putin. They thought they can get away with it. And remember, you got to think that Putin has nukes, so maybe he thinks he can get away with it too. So let me know your thoughts here in the comments. Yeah, it's a tough and tricky situation, but they're literally telling us what they want to do. They're literally telling Russian citizens what they want to do. So I'll keep you up to date here. If you haven't yet, subscribe down below. Click the bell icon so you don't miss out on any new videos. It's completely free to do so. New videos come out here normally at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. every single day, Eastern Standard Time. Thanks for liking, and please share these videos so other people can see this and hear this information. It's coming right from Russia. This is information coming right from them. So, and remember, your average everyday news sources do not cover a lot of this information. You're not going to hear this on your normal 8 p.m. nightly news. So I'll keep you up to date here. Click here to see the alerts that are going to be going out nationwide on October 4th, or click here to see the newest video I just did. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.